The Ugandan military has apologized for what it called the unprofessional conduct of soldiers after a journalist was beaten and arrested as he covered a protest in the capital. In a statement, the military said that soldiers who had molested journalists would be arrested and punished. At least one person was killed and over 100 people were arrested during protests over the detention of several opposition MPs and activists. According to a spokesperson for the city's police, demonstrators burnt tires, threw stones and erected roadblocks. The protesters were angered by reports that opposition MP Robert Kyagulanyi, also known as Bobby Wine, has been tortured while in custody, a claim that President Yoweri Museveni denies.
Police quickly intervened and the situation is now calm. We ask all Kampalans and all Ugandans not to engage into these riots because, as we say, they are unlawful, they are unacceptable, they are criminal actions. Police and sister security agencies will continue to work together to secure everyone and to give space to everyone to go about their businesses uninterrupted. Close to 45 people have been arrested.
Let's get more on this story now from an African affairs analyst, Mr. Achike Chude. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
Thank you. What do you make of the arrest of over 100 protesters who were demonstrating against the alleged torture of an opposition lawmaker in police custody?
Yeah, I mean, we keep on seeing this kind of unfortunate incidences all across the African landscape, especially, when a particular, president or political leadership is being opposed. The reality is that the people have a right to disagree. They have a right to dissent. It's a constitutional, it's a fundamental right of, the citizen. And these are also enshrined even in the constitution and the laws of Uganda. But obviously, when it would appear that when views are at variance with the views of the supreme leader, then such people will have to be, cowed. Such people will have to be dealt with. And it is unfortunate, what is going on in Uganda. Of course, it's a fallout of the recent events in Uganda. The fact that the Constitutional Court and the Assembly, in collaboration, together, have been able to remove the age limit for the president. At first, it was the issue of term limit that was removed in 2005. Now it is about the age limit. And funnily enough, when the Constitutional Court was talking about it, the members of Parliament also brought their own issue. They wanted an increase in their own term limits from 5 years to 7 years, and the court dismissed that as being selfish. But the President Yoweri is going for the 6th term. He's been in power for about 30 years now, and he is not selfish from the views of the court, the Constitutional Court, and so on. So it's unfortunate. All of these things are reactions to what the people of Uganda see as an obvious power grab, by Museveni. And when you have this kind of circumstances, it is only natural for people to vent their anger. And so when you deny them the ability, to vent that anger, within the confines of the law, they will look for other ways to do that. And I think, this is a fallout of the attempt or the fallout, of, the stoning that his motorcade, the president's motorcade was subjected to, which led to serious brutalization of Ugandans, as a result of that. But what we're seeing really is, an increasing intolerance by the Ugandan government for any form of opposition, whether it is lawful or not, by Ugandans. And this has resulted in this. It's unfortunate. It has received condemnation from everywhere. The European Union, and so many other countries have warned about what is happening because of the possibility that it could lead to other issues that would be unpleasant, in terms of its consequences on Uganda.
So we're talking about the brutalization. The Ugandan army has apologized after a Reuters reporter was covering the protest, was beaten and detained. But was it really necessary for the government to deploy soldiers to quell the unrest? Couldn't the police have done that?
Yeah, clearly. But again, even before I get to that, are the soldiers or the military establishment, are they apologizing because, you know, a foreign reporter from a well-known international organization, news organization, was beaten, and it was clear, you know, that they had done wrong to a foreign organization, and they had to apologize. They have been doing this to local, you know, media men. Have they apologized? You know, so this is what you have to look at. So what it tells you is that the apology is just because of the identity of the person that was brutalized. So they can go ahead, do it to even local media men, journalists, and all of that, and they do not owe them any form of apology. You know, so like I said, it's really unfortunate. But I think there was a second thing you also asked in that question. Yeah.
Yeah, couldn't the police have done that?
Yeah, it's clearly a police issue. It's a civil, you know, matter. It's a civil disturbance and all of that. So why do you want to kill the fly with a sledgehammer? It's clear that they needed to bring in the big guns, you know, the security forces. It was clearly aimed at intimidating intimidating Ugandan citizens, to tell them that, look, we have the capacity to deal with you in whatever way we want if you do not comply. And that's the implication, because this is, like I said, it is something that is within the purview of the Ugandan police, but obviously the intent, like I said, is meant to intimidate and to cow and to shock and to awe the people of Uganda.
Thank you so much, sir. It's always a pleasure having you on the program.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Achike Chude, an African Affairs analyst. Thank you.
Always a pleasure too. Thank you.
Thank you. Still to come on the program, the death toll from the Ebola crisis in DR Congo rises to 55. Please stay with us.